this one was definitely an unexpected, unscheduled live. Gen X and Gen X adjacent. Y'all remember that stupid food pyramid? And our parents, the smokers, and then later on the just listen to this shit. Computer, resume.
Resuming the Tucker Carlson Show from Amazon Music. Callie and Casey Means, the truth about Ozempic, the pill, and how Big Pharma keeps you sick.
This is the thing that I understood and that I am working and we are spending our lives to evangelize for this book, Good Energy, is that the reasons why Americans are getting sicker every year are very simple. Americans want to be healthy. Americans do not want to die early. They do not want to see their kids with all these chronic health issues like autism and food allergies and obesity and prediabetes and 40% of teens with mental health issues. No one wants this, but the system is rigged against the American patient to create diseases and then profit off of them. This is happening across almost every lever of our major industries, from processed food to tech to pharma. And so really what Americans need to understand is that these trends can stop immediately. We need to understand why we're sick, which is our primarily our toxic food system and the ways that systematically several industries are profiting off of our addiction and illness. And if we can understand that and create very simple top-down and bottom-up strategies to address it, Americans will become rapidly healthier. And so as a physician, I took an oath to do no harm, and I took an oath to help patients thrive. And so the way that we can do that is by helping people understand the levers of corruption that are essentially keeping us sick.
I guess the reason I'm pressing you, and you're the sort of person, this is a compliment, clearly doesn't want to talk about herself, which is great, but I think it's relevant because it speaks to the intensity of your commitment and to your sincerity. So you're giving up the prize, you're giving up the money, because you really believe this.
Yes.
And I think I just want to establish that at the outset.
Thank you.
Before we say anything more. So you're...
Computer, pause. That is a Stanford educated doctor, surgeon. Just... You guys got to listen to this. That's all. Now that it's on Facebook. I literally just woke up. I hate that word. I just woke up and was going around and doing my usual morning wake up, which I haven't completed, which I'm sure you can tell. So, computer, resume.
Resuming the Tucker Carlson Show from Amazon Music. Callie and Casey Means, the truth about Ozempic, the pill, and how Big Pharma keeps you sick.
You're very close. I happen to know that. And you're obviously proud of your sister. President of her class at Stanford. It's the kind of thing like, oh, my sister's at Stanford. She's at Stanford Medical School. She decides not to practice surgery, the most impressive of all specialties. What's your reaction to this?
I called her and said she was a complete idiot. We were raised in Washington, D.C., right next to you, kind of conditioned to climb up the ladder.
Of course.
I went to Stanford. I went to Harvard Business School. That was what life's about, just kind of collecting those credentials. Casey, research at the NIH, as we talked about, top of her Stanford med school class. To me, that was it. And truly, and you hit on this, she had this is a...
Why in the crap, when I'm listening to Tucker Carlson, does this stupid Alexa thing keep suddenly just bling, cuts him off? Computer, resume.
Resuming the Tucker Carlson Show from Amazon Music. Callie and Casey Means, the truth about Ozempic, the pill, and how Big Pharma keeps you sick.
This was her identity. This
was
everything to her. And she bravely stepped away with no plan, just from a moral obligation. And I thought she was a complete idiot. And what I know now, and what I've been radicalized on, is she has convinced me that this is the most important issue in the country. It's an issue of corruption. that starts at Stanford Med School being 50% funded by pharma and not training doctors on one nutrition class. Stanford Med School, Harvard Med School, 90% of med schools don't offer or require one nutrition class. Doctors simply aren't learning why people are getting sick, which we'd all assume
Holy
they do.
shit.
80% of course loads in pharmacology.
Right,
It's
I
on
can't
how
sit.
to take people that are getting sicker and sicker and manage those conditions, not to cure them. And that's a huge problem because that dynamic
Computer.
of the largest
Volume up 3.
country is destroying human capital.
So as your sister is on one end of the equation, you're on the other. So you
Right.
both have, you're from a community of strivers. That's what DC
Sure,
is.
exactly.
And
They're from
Merit Badge
DC.
gatherers, and you've
Brother
gotten
and sister.
two of the greatest merit badges ever.
Right.
HBS, Stanford Medical School. But you're all of a sudden finding yourself in Washington. Can you just explain your background a little bit?
Yeah, so I just Casey was a bit smarter than me on the biology route. I wanted to be contributing to politics from an early age, and went to Stanford to go back into politics, studied economics, political science, went straight back to campaigns after school. What I learned quickly is that the campaign globally worked for the biggest spenders in DC, and I found myself across the desks from food industry to farm industry. The farm industry spends 5 times more in DC than the oil industry. By far the biggest spender. Bipartisan, you're working for pharma. But starting with food, I learned
Apparently I
early
can't even
on
do that right.
that the food industry, and this is my construct, the food industry and the processed food industry was created by the cigarette industry. And I think this is very telling and something I learned. So in the 1990s, the two largest food companies in the world were R.J. Reynolds and Philip Morris. But what happened is when the Surgeon General
It happened again. Computer. Resume.
Resuming the Tucker Carlson show from Amazon Music. Callie and Casey Means, the truth
Callie
about Ozempic,
means.
the pill, and how
Look
big
her up.
pharma keeps you sick.
in the 1980s says,
Well, it's not even going to let me share it with you. Ain't that a bitch? If you can, go look up Tucker Carlson and Callie and Casey Means on YouTube. Y'all have to listen to this. It's the food pyramid. The food pyramid just, that was such a huge thing when we were growing up. And y'all, I'm just sick of this thing cutting off. But I'm leaving this video up so y'all can hear that, and this has happened before, whenever there's something that is not whenever, but it just randomly happens. Like it's happened before, whenever Tucker says the word, excuse me. Yeah, I inhaled some water. Whenever Tucker would say a word, or no, I can't say whenever. Tucker, the last couple times it happened on the word Biden. When Tucker Carlson said the word Biden, that happened. The blang, and it cuts off. I don't even know what that sound means. I've never heard it make that sound, except when all of a sudden it's going to cut off. And I rewound it to get to this point because I knew y'all needed to hear it. And I just realized now that's the same thing. Whenever I rewind to re-listen to Tucker Carlson, this stupid Alexa thing does that. I'm leaving this up for posterity. Grand Crew, ugh. What the levels of betrayal, like I wrote in the description, the levels of betrayal of our government. The levels are just, they just keep getting deeper and deeper, and the spider web keeps getting longer and longer. I just can't freaking, it's mind-blowing. I'm gonna put that freaking emoji on here. mind-blowing. Ground crew, I love you guys. I inhaled some water, so I'm gonna go cough off of the live stream. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one, whenever that is, because it might be another one tomorrow. Who knows?